Before I made a video about how to have no 0 days, which is essentially just making sure that you're writing or doing something every single day for your story. Whether it's just one sentence or 10 words or whatever it may be, as long as you were doing a little bit of something to make sure that you were writing every day or just putting something down every day, it will eventually lead to you making sure that you never go a day without it, and eventually will actually finish your story, your project, whatever it may be. Now today I want to share more ideas about that and how you can continue to have no 0 days. And basically there are 4 different things. Number 1, brainstorm. You can always be adding more to your story. Whether it is for just improving certain characters, fleshing out a plot, whatever it may be, you can always do more for your story. And that's why brainstorming and consistently brainstorming is really important for that. And if you take that brainstorm and write it down, update some chapters, you will have worked on your story. Next is plot. Your plot is most likely constantly evolving. You could have a very rigid plot where you stick to it every single step of the way. But if you're like me and many other authors, you are constantly improving your plot. And like for me, for example, I will summarize a chapter in my outline, and when I get to that chapter I write part of it, but I'm like, oh, I've actually written 1,500 words already and this chapter is definitely not done. And so I will break it there, start the next chapter. And so constantly updating my plot and my outline for what my chapters are really important to me, basically because I realize I need to go more in depth, or I had a lot more to say, or the characters had a lot more to say about this one thing than I thought. Yeah. So next is working on your outline. This kind of goes in line with the last idea, but essentially just go through your outline and make sure you know where your story is going. Find out where the story is going, if it fits what you're doing, and if it still works. Because maybe you decided to make a change to something and then you get to a certain chapter and you're like, oh, I forgot to foreshadow this, or I forgot to add this certain thing to an earlier chapter. So it's good to constantly go and update your outline. That way you are consistent with it and it'll be easier to cut out plot holes and other things from your outline. The final step is write from a different perspective. If you're struggling to write certain things or struggling to do certain things with your writing, I would highly suggest just taking a different character in the story and try writing a scene or a sentence or even just a little bit from that character's perspective. One reason why I really like this is because this will actually help improve the way that you write that character. Not just from their perspective, but from the main character's perspective. One of my favorite YouTubers and inspirations for writing, Daniel Green, he gave me this idea basically because if you are, let's say, writing about a bank or a bank owner, and you probably don't have much experience with banks or bank owners, I'm sure somebody out there does, but if your bank owner is super clean and super uptight and does things a very specific way, if you write that from his perspective, when your characters get to that bank, it will be noticeable how many things that bank owner does, because essentially you are just making the world stronger. And whether or not you are doing this to just get out of writer's block or whatever, just doing this could be actually really good for your story. You could do this before your story even starts. Just write some short stories in the perspective of other characters. I think that'd be really helpful. So this was my video about no 0 days and how to essentially work on something every single day. So that way your writing can be more successful, more fulfilling, and so that you can feel better about writing and getting something done every single day with your writing. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, definitely like. If any of these tips would help you, comment it. Let me know what of these tips would be helpful for you in your writing, or what should I add to my next video about this, because if I'm uploading pretty much every day, I'm going to be talking about similar things consistently. and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Trying to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We'll see how it happens. Thank you so much. Have a great day.